Hi, I'm Maxie McNice.
I'm Max Kirshenblatt.
I'm Nelson Redmond.
Today we'll be going over our Stats 216 presentation. We'll discuss our research question, our methods, our results, and then finally our discussion and conclusion. All right, so our research question. Since the COVID-19 pandemic has begun, we asked, is there a difference between male and female undergraduate students experiencing difficulties with online learning? To prevent the spread of COVID-19 among professors, students, and other people in the university, higher education across the country has switched from typical in-person classes to either a hybrid or online learning. COVID-19 has taken a toll on everyone around the world. However, being a college student, we're experiencing the effect head-on while trying to navigate through the struggles of online learning. Our study is important because we want to raise awareness of the effects of COVID-19 and the difficulties undergraduate students have been facing. So all our data was collected from a peer-reviewed journal that was done in suburban New Jersey University, public university. So yeah, the survey was administered to 450 students taking an introductory core health class at this public university. A link for the survey was emailed to all 450 students, as well as reminders in subsequent weeks. Of the 450 people, 161 students responded to the survey. All data was self-reported, and the response rate was 36%. Other questions were also asked in the survey, including demographic, race, ethnicity, that sort of thing. We think the best use of to display our results was a segmented bar graph that represents the males that had difficulty and the females that had difficulty. We used a difference in proportions between male and female. And then we simulated a test measure to test measured difference in population across 100 samples. Yeah.
So the results, our sample size was 161 students. 62.1% of the observed males indicated that they felt some degree of difficulty with online learning. That is 71 of the total male population, compared to 50% of the observed females indicated that they had felt some degree of difficulty with the online learning. That was 23 females in the survey. The confidence interval that was calculated came out from negative 0.048 to 0.291 and a p-value of 0.182. Independence was not met in the study because it was a convenience sample, meaning it was taken of all the students that were taking this course rather than a random sample of students taking this course. Here are the simulated graphs. On the left, we have our bootstrap confidence interval. We have the observed data in the middle that shows females compared to males that are having difficulties with online learning. And we have our p-value on the right, as well as our standard deviation and mean. So because this survey was sent to 450 students, the research, only 161 students responded. So to prevent any non-response bias, the researchers removed those results entirely. The selection bias may be present as every student that was picked was taking the same course, even though they were through different sections at the university. And on top of that, there was not an equal distribution of female to male students. Response bias is not present as people had no reason to lie on an online survey that asks questions about how they felt with online learning, their trust in news sources, and where they get their information from. And there's no reason to believe that there is a confounding variable present in the study, as there are very few, if any, conditions that would affect males and females that also affects if they're feeling a difficulty with online learning or not.
we are 95% confident that the true difference in proportions of males who said yes and females who said yes lies between negative 0.048 and 0.291. As the pandemic continues and universities are forced to keep some courses online, it is worth the research to investigate more than just if students are having difficulties with online learning. Since this pandemic affects more than just the course load for undergraduate students, researchers should focus energy towards mental health of undergraduate students to see if there is a correlation of declining mental health with the isolation that comes from a pandemic such as this one. The goal of our research was to find if gender plays a role and if an undergraduate student is having difficulties in online learning since the COVID-19 pandemic. Since our p-value is greater than 0.05, it is not statistically significant, and therefore we cannot reject the null hypothesis. Because the study didn't use random sampling, we cannot generalize the results to a bigger population, and since the study was an observational study, no causation between sex and difficulty with online learning can be made. The simulation showed us that gender does not play a role in whether an undergraduate student is having difficulties in school due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for watching our presentation.